The internet thought it knew everything about Charlie and Erika, the marriage, the brand, the picture-perfect public relationship that always seemed strangely rehearsed. But nobody, absolutely nobody, was prepared for what leaked last night. Not a screenshot, not a voicemail, not a messy argument caught on Ring camera. A private journal. Charlie Kirk's private journal. Pages, dozens of them, handwritten, confessional, raw, angry, fearful. And the most explosive entry wasn't hidden in the middle. It was right on page 1. I've been planning to leave her for months. I just don't know how to do it without everything falling apart. The internet stopped. That one sentence shattered the illusion, revealing a marriage far darker, far colder, far more broken than anyone imagined. And the entries didn't get lighter. They got worse. Because Charlie didn't just talk about leaving Erika. He wrote about strategizing the divorce, calculating it, planning it, timing it around donors, scandals, elections, and public perception. But the real shock came when another entry revealed, she's becoming unpredictable. If she finds out what I'm doing behind the scenes, she'll ruin everything. Behind the scenes? People started connecting dots. Financial secrecy, political deals, off-books meetings, strategic reallocations, unexplained travel logs, and private messages he never thought she'd see. But the journal didn't just expose Charlie. It exposed characters nobody expected. A political fixer. A donor's wife he confided in too much. A TPUSA strategist who encouraged the split. A therapist he allegedly fired for taking Erika's side. A friend who told him, "You don't want this getting out." And the final leaked line, the one that made every timeline erupt. I just need her gone before the next phase hits. What phase? What was Charlie planning? Who was helping him? And why did he think Erika was a threat? Long before Charlie Kirk ever wrote those journal entries, long before he admitted on paper that he'd been plotting a divorce in secret, the cracks in his marriage weren't just visible. They were growing, spreading, widening like fractures in a foundation everyone pretended was solid. To the public, Charlie and Erika were a polished conservative power couple, handpicked and propped up as the clean, aesthetically pleasing, Bible-first poster children for traditional values. But behind the cameras, behind the speeches, behind the charity events, behind the filtered Instagram posts, behind the carefully staged holiday photos, there were whispers, not online, not from trolls, not from outsiders, from people. People who worked with them, people who traveled with them, people who saw them when the mics were off. And those whispers all had one common thread. Something was deeply, deeply wrong. It started subtly. Staff noticing Charlie showing up to events without his wedding ring. A few TPUSA interns noticing Erika walking into conferences late, eyes red like she'd been crying in her car. Donors noticing tension between them during private dinners. The kind of tension that doesn't come from a minor argument, but from something colder, something older, something unresolved. People close to Charlie said he grew distant months before any scandal came to light. He started working later, taking more private calls, stepping outside during dinners, postponing trips he once considered mandatory. He built emotional walls so fast even his closest friends couldn't keep up. Meanwhile, Erika seemed to be collapsing under the weight of something invisible. She would freeze mid-sentence. She would go silent in meetings. She would stare into space like her mind was somewhere else, somewhere dark. People assumed stress, or exhaustion, or burnout. But one person, Erika's former assistant, finally spoke anonymously. She wasn't exhausted. She was scared. She was scared of what she knew, and even more scared of what she didn't know. Because Erika had started to notice things, strange credit card statements, meetings she wasn't invited to anymore, conversations Charlie cut off whenever she walked into the room, emails that were forwarded to everyone except her, events that she once attended with Charlie, that he suddenly insisted on going to alone. And the rumors? They were vicious. Rumors that Charlie wasn't just stressed. He wasn't just busy. He wasn't just distracted. He was planning. He was preparing. He was setting up a future where Erika didn't exist at his side. But Erika wasn't the only character caught up in this. Charlie had an entire circle of people influencing him. A political fixer, someone who operated in the shadows, known only by insiders as Dale. A man who specialized in removing obstacles before they created scandals. A TPUSA strategist, a woman named Celeste, cold, calculated, with a reputation for telling powerful men exactly what they wanted to hear. She once allegedly told Charlie, "Your brand will grow faster without emotional distractions." A donor's wife, Victoria Hollingsworth, someone who had inserted herself deeply into Charlie and Erika's marriage under the guise of offering wisdom. She was charming, soft-spoken, manipulative, and always there to support Charlie through stress. Some whispered she was too supportive. Even Charlie's therapist became a character in this mess. A therapist he fired suddenly after supposedly accusing her of siding with Erika during a couple's session. The therapist allegedly warned him, "You are shutting down. You are detaching from your wife in a way that is going to cause irreversible damage." Charlie never went back. But the scariest part? Even TPUSA's staff knew something was shifting. A former intern said she once overheard Charlie tell someone, "She's not fitting the image anymore. The image, not woman I love, not my partner, not my wife. Image." Everything for Charlie was branding, even marriage. And Erika? She felt it. She felt the distance. She felt the coldness. She felt the manipulation. She tried fixing things, tried talking to him, tried asking questions, tried initiating honest conversations. But Charlie was shutting down faster than she could keep up. He would respond with short answers, half words, or long political monologues that made her feel like a constituent instead of a wife. But then came the moment Erika realized something was truly, irrevocably broken. Charlie started locking his journal, the same journal he never used to hide. The same leather-bound book he used to scribble speeches, podcast outlines, personal thoughts, and devotionals. Now he hid it, guarded it, carried it everywhere, never left it unattended. Erika once reached across the table to move it so she could put down a glass. Charlie snatched it back so fast she jumped. He apologized quickly. Too quickly. Panic dripping from his voice. That was the night Erika cried for 3 hours straight. And she had every reason to. Because what she didn't know was that Charlie had already begun planning the end. He wasn't thinking about therapy. He wasn't thinking about reconciliation. He wasn't thinking about fixing their marriage. He was thinking about how to exit without destroying his brand. He wrote about timing it after midterms. He wrote about announcing a peaceful, prayerful separation. He wrote about bringing in PR assistants to craft the statement. He wrote about staging it as spiritual differences. He even wrote, "She's unraveling slowly. This is the window." But Erika wasn't unraveling. She was waking up, and other people saw it too. Her best friend from college, someone she'd been ignoring for months, finally visited for a weekend. She later admitted, "I've never seen Erika that fragile. It felt like she was losing pieces of herself." Another character entered the story, a woman named Mara, a TPUSA admin who had always been kind to Erika. She reportedly told a colleague, "Erika isn't breaking down. She's being broken down." But Charlie didn't see it like that. To him, Erika was a liability, because Erika had one thing that threatened everything. She knew too much. She had overheard too many late-night calls. She had seen too many emails. She had been present for too many donor discussions. She had read too many confidential documents. And worst of all, Charlie's allies believed Erika was starting to ask the wrong questions. Questions about financial reallocations, private donor agreements, hidden phases of internal plans, unreported meetings, off-the-books transfers, confusing financial movements, and people Charlie trusted more than her. That's when Celeste, the strategist, allegedly told Charlie, "If she's asking questions, it's already too late. You need distance." Distance, separation, silencing. And Charlie listened. He grew colder, more dismissive, more irritable, more secretive. He started scheduling early meetings and staying out late. He started sleeping in the guest room. He started disappearing during weekends for retreats. He started leaving his phone face down, locked, and silent. Erika wasn't allowed to see anything. But Charlie, he was seeing everything. And that's why his journal became the heart of this scandal. Because every fear Erika ever had, every suspicion, every intuition, every moment she felt something is wrong, he confirmed in writing. He admitted thinking about divorce months before Erika even realized how bad things had become. He wrote about meetings where people encouraged him to prepare for the transition. He wrote about protecting his brand first. He wrote about shielding TPUSA. He wrote about donors telling him, she isn't the right fit anymore. He wrote about finding a way to leave Erika without financial fallout, donor panic, or negative press. He wrote about controlling the narrative. He wrote about constructing a graceful exit that makes me look steady. And then, the darkest line of all, I can't let her be the one to speak first. When Charlie's private journal leaked, the political world didn't just panic. It stopped. It froze mid-scroll, mid-sentence, mid-breath. Even people who didn't care about politics suddenly became invested in every messy, emotional, manipulative detail inside those handwritten pages. And as the screenshots circulated, dissected, reposted, analyzed, and weaponized, everyone wanted to know the same thing. How did Erika react when she saw it? How did she respond to learning her husband planned her removal months in advance? But before Erika even touched the journal, other people reacted first. The strategist Celeste, cold, calculating, the woman who whispered poison into Charlie's ear, panicked the moment she saw the leaks. She wasn't afraid of Erika. She wasn't afraid of the donors. She wasn't even afraid of the public. She was afraid of what Charlie might do next. Because Celeste knew the truth. Charlie never took accountability for anything. He always shifted blame. He always crafted narratives. He always found someone else to take the fall. And if the journal leaks got worse, if more pages surfaced, if reporters dug deeper, he might throw her under the bus. So Celeste made calls, fast calls, furious calls, to Dale, the political fixer, to Victoria Hollingsworth, the donor's wife who inserted herself too deep, to board members who had warned her this might happen, to the strategist circle, the inner ring of people who shaped public perception, and she said the same sentence to all of them. He's losing control. Dale responded coldly. Then he'll burn everyone near him. Victoria whispered, voice trembling. He can't let Erika talk. She knows too much. A board member told Celeste, if Erika speaks first, this becomes a national scandal. Everyone knew the truth except the public. Charlie Kirk's marriage wasn't collapsing because of emotional distance. It was collapsing because Charlie was trying to prevent Erika from exposing him. And now the whole world was watching it happen in real time. Meanwhile, inside their home, things had reached a breaking point. Erika didn't confront Charlie right away. She didn't scream or cry or throw anything. She didn't demand explanations. She sat at the kitchen table for nearly an hour, just reading page after page, reading the way he described her, reading his cold analysis of her emotions, reading his plans to time the divorce around political cycles, reading the line that broke her last piece of trust. I don't love her anymore, and I haven't for a long time. Her hands shook. Her breath slowed. Her throat burned. But what hurt most wasn't the admission. It was the calculation. Charlie hadn't lost love gradually. He had replaced it with strategy. Erika flipped to another entry. If the donors push back, I can frame it as spiritual misalignment. No one will question that. She felt sick reading her life reduced to PR lines. But then, she reached the twist. The entry labeled, "Contingency Plan, if she resists." Inside it were paragraphs outlining how to discredit her, to portray her as unstable, emotional, confused, overwhelmed. A wife who mentally checked out? Someone he tried to help but couldn't reach? It was a psychological takedown in writing. He planned her destruction, and Erika realized something horrific. Charlie didn't just want a divorce. He wanted control of the divorce. He wanted ownership of the narrative. He wanted to shape her downfall before she ever had a chance to speak. He wanted to silence her. So when Erika finally walked into the living room, journal in hand, her voice wasn't angry. It was dangerously calm. "Did you write this?" Charlie looked up slowly, as if he'd been expecting this moment, but hoping it wouldn't arrive so soon. He didn't deny it. He didn't apologize. He didn't explain. He simply said, "You weren't supposed to see that." Not, "I didn't mean it. You misunderstood. I was upset. It's not what it looks like. Just, you weren't supposed to see that." As though the content wasn't the betrayal. The exposure was. She stared at him, her expression empty, the numbness more terrifying than rage. "You planned my removal," she whispered. Charlie didn't flinch. "I planned what was necessary." Her breathing tightened. What was necessary? Charlie stood up, walked toward her slowly, like he was approaching a witness he needed to intimidate. "You've become unpredictable. You're emotional. You ask too many questions. You get in the way." "In the way of what?" Erika snapped. Charlie paused. And then he said the sentence that would blow this scandal into history. "In the way of Phase 2. Phase 2. A phrase that kept resurfacing in leaks, whispers, emails, internal memos. But nobody knew exactly what it meant. Erika's heart dropped. "What is Phase 2? She pressed. Charlie smirked, a cold, dismissive smirk, the kind that said he held all the power. "You don't need to know." But before he could walk away, she stepped in front of him, gripping the journal tightly, her face inches away from his. "This marriage is not a political campaign," she said, her voice breaking. He didn't answer. He didn't argue. He didn't comfort her. He simply said, "It is now." And that's when Erika realized she was no longer his wife. She was his liability. But the first major twist came not from Charlie, not from Erika, not from donors, not from strategists, but from someone entirely unexpected. Charlie's therapist. The same therapist he fired. She broke confidentiality, at least indirectly, by leaking a voice memo she recorded after one of their sessions. Not the session itself, but her personal reflections after it. In the recording, she said, "I've never worked with someone who compartmentalizes like this. He sees people as assets or obstacles. Erika is no longer an asset." The recording spread fast. People shared clip after clip of the therapist saying, "He has the capacity to manipulate narratives at a master level. He's preparing something significant, and Erika is the only person who could disrupt it. He's not divorcing her because of incompatibility. He's divorcing her because she knows too much." The internet erupted. But the twist didn't end there. Another leak dropped. This time from a close friend of Victoria Hollingsworth, the meddling donor's wife. A private message between Victoria and Celeste where Victoria wrote, "Charlie said Phase 2 can't happen unless Erika is out of the picture. unless Erika is out of the picture. The internet fell into hysteria. What is phase 2? Why does Erika need to be removed for it? This is dark. This is political manipulation. Charlie is scarier than we thought. But then the twist took an even darker turn. A second part of Charlie's journal leaked, and the first line on the new page said, "I need to handle Erika before she talks to the wrong people." Handle, not help, not support, not discuss, not separate peacefully. Handle. But the next line was worse. Infinitely worse. Dale says we're running out of time. Dale, the political fixer, the man who made scandals disappear, the man who removed obstacles, the man who cleaned up messes. Erika was not a mess. She was a target. People screamed online, "Is this dangerous? He was trying to silence her? Is Erika safe? This is not just a divorce." And then, the audio leaked, the one no one expected, recorded secretly inside TPUSA headquarters. Celeste whispering, "If Erika talks to the IRS, we're all done. Charlie knows that." Dale replying, "She won't get the chance." Then a chilling silence. Then Dale's voice again. "I told him to move fast." The internet broke. Politicians reacted. Commentators reacted. TikTok reacted. News outlets reacted. Donors reacted. Even TPUSA employees reacted. Everyone was terrified. Because suddenly this wasn't just a scandal. It wasn't just a divorce. It wasn't just betrayal. It wasn't just secrets. It was a political operation, a coordinated silencing, a multi-phase plan, a marriage used as a strategic cover, a woman being removed to protect something dark. And the first twist ends with a final chilling reveal. Erika didn't disappear because she was scared. She disappeared because she was meeting with someone Charlie could never control. A federal investigator. When Erika stepped into that federal building, the world thought she was running, hiding, folding under pressure. But what nobody knew, not Charlie, not Celeste, not Dale, not Victoria, not even her closest friends, was that Erika didn't enter that building as a victim. She entered as a weapon. Because the moment she sat down across from the federal investigator, a sharp, intimidating woman named Special Agent Grayson, everything shifted. Grayson didn't offer coffee, didn't smile, didn't pretend this was a routine check-in. She looked Erika dead in the eyes and said, "We know someone tried to silence you." The air left Erika's lungs. She had prepared to ease into the conversation, but they were already ahead of her. Special Agent Grayson opened a file, fresh, thick, filled with documents Erika had never seen before, documents Charlie never meant for her to see. And Grayson said, "Let's start with phase 2. Erika's heart nearly stopped. Phase 2. The phrase Charlie refused to explain. The phrase she saw in emails. The phrase Celeste whispered to donors. The phrase Dale referenced behind closed doors. The phrase the strategist circled in his internal notes. The phrase written in Charlie's journal next to her name. Phase 2 can't happen unless Erika is out of the picture. Erika swallowed hard. "What is phase 2? She asked. Grayson leaned back. "You tell me." That's when Erika realized the truth. They didn't bring her in for questioning. They brought her in because they needed her, because she wasn't the liability. She was the key, the one person who didn't know the whole plan, but knew enough to expose the people at the top. But before Erika could respond, Grayson revealed the first shocking bombshell. She slid a photo across the table, a photo of Celeste and Dale, meeting privately with a major donor at a wine cellar 3 months earlier. A donor who had allegedly redirected over $6 million in private funds. And Grayson said, "This meeting was not reported. This donor is now under review. And we know this was the night phase 2 was approved." Erika stared at the photo. Her stomach twisted. Celeste, Dale, a powerful donor, a private seller, a signed document on the table. She whispered, "They never told Charlie I saw them that night." Grayson smiled faintly. "But you did see them?" Erika nodded slowly. "They said it was a strategy session. They said I didn't need to stay. They said it was about brand partnerships." Grayson closed the file. "Erika, they lied." Then came the second reveal, an audio clip. Grayson pressed play. It was Celeste's voice. Icy, confident, strategic. If the IRS starts asking questions, Erika goes first. Charlie will follow the narrative. The donors will stabilize the messaging. As long as she stays quiet. Phase 2 rolls out cleanly. Erika felt the back of her throat burn. This wasn't betrayal. This was orchestration. Grayson paused the audio. They were going to make you the fall person. Erika nodded, tears forming. Not from sadness, but fury. I figured. But Grayson wasn't done. She clicked to the next file, a financial spreadsheet, every line item highlighted, every reallocation traced. "Charlie said you approved these transfers," Grayson said. Erika shook her head. "I signed what he told me to sign." "And some," Grayson said softly, "were signed by someone else, forging your initials." Erika froze. Forging. Her initials. Grayson flipped another page. A zoomed-in authentication analysis. The EK initials matched the strategist's writing, not hers. The room spun. "You're telling me they—" Erika couldn't finish the sentence. "Yes," Grayson confirmed. "They falsified your approvals." The third revelation dropped like a bomb. A confidential email chain between Charlie and Dale. Grayson passed it across the table. Subject line: EK Narrative Management. The emails discussed timelines, talking points, divorce framing, damage control, media strategy, psychological positioning, preparing the public for separation, making her emotional state the story, and worst of all, ensure she does not speak before we do. Erika's lips parted in disbelief. "They were weaponizing your silence," Grayson said, "planning to portray you as unstable if this ever hit the press." Erika's hands shook. "Charlie? Wrote that?" "He approved it," Grayson corrected. And then came the knockout blow. The moment that changed everything. Grayson slid one more document forward. A script, a literal script. Instructions for how Charlie would announce their divorce. A fake, polished, sanitized speech. "I love Erika deeply, but she has been struggling internally. This separation is for her well-being. We ask for privacy as she navigates this difficult emotional season." Erika's eyes flooded with tears. Not from sadness, but rage. "He was going to make me look mentally unstable," she whispered. Grayson nodded. "And the public would have believed him." Erika closed her eyes. "For how long?" she asked. How long was he planning this? Grayson opened the last part of the file. According to the strategist's notes, almost a year. Erika felt like she'd been punched in the chest. This wasn't a weeks-long plan. This wasn't a spontaneous collapse. This wasn't a relationship issue. Charlie had been orchestrating her removal for nearly 12 months. But the most shocking twist? Erika wasn't the only one he was planning to remove. In the strategist's notebook, under Phase 2 implementation, there were 3 names listed under elimination targets. EK, JW, and SB. Erika gasped. "Who are JW and SB?" Grayson answered without hesitation. 2 TPUSA insiders who refused to cooperate with the reallocations. They challenged Charlie. They questioned Phase 2. They threatened to pull documents. Erika's hands flew to her mouth. She whispered, "He was cleaning house." Then Grayson leaned forward. We believe Phase 2 is a structural overhaul of TPUSA's financial and political strategy. It required secrecy. It required manipulation. And it required removing anyone who could expose it. Her voice sharpened. Including you. Erika's legs went weak. So what happens now? She asked. Grayson exhaled. That depends on you. Silence filled the room. Then, you are our most valuable witness, Erika. You have information no one else has. You have access no one else had. And right now, you are the only one Charlie is truly afraid of. For the first time in months, Erika felt power return to her chest. I'll tell you everything, she said. And that is when the real twist hit. The moment Erika walked out of that federal building, Charlie lost his mind. He didn't go live. He didn't tweet. He didn't release a statement. He didn't call donors. He called Dale. A panicked, shaking, furious voice. She talked to them. She talked to them. Dale replied, We expected this. Charlie snapped. No, Erika is emotional, but she isn't stupid. She will burn everything down. Then Dale said something that would haunt the world once leaks surfaced. Then we moved to Phase 3. The internet wasn't ready. Erika wasn't safe. And Charlie wasn't done. The moment Charlie's recorded meltdown leaked, that frantic phone call where he shouted, She talked to them, everything shifted. Every political influencer, every donor circle, every strategist group chat, every conservative commentator instantly realized, this wasn't marital drama. This wasn't a PR crisis. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a political emergency. The reactions came flooding in like a tidal wave. The first shockwave hit Twitter, where thousands of people replayed Charlie's voice cracking with panic, analyzing every syllable like it was a national security briefing. Influencers tweeted, He's terrified. What did Erika tell them? This is the sound of a man watching his empire collapse. He's not scared of the marriage ending. He's scared of the truth spilling. One viral thread broke down the audio. He wasn't worried about losing Erika. He was worried about losing control. This is the biggest political implosion since 2016. We're witnessing a man unravel in real time. And suddenly everyone was asking, what is Phase 3? Who is behind it? And how far were they willing to go? But the second wave came from conservative media, and this was the first time they weren't aligned. Some hosts defended him weakly. We don't know if the audio is real. This could be out of context. Couples argue, it happens. But others, the ones who had been privately fed up with Charlie's secretive behavior, went for the jugular. A well-known commentator said, Charlie Kirk is cornered, and his reaction says everything. He isn't afraid of a divorce. He's afraid of exposure. Phase 3 sounds like damage control and possibly intimidation. Another host said, if Erika has information the IRS wants, Charlie is done. No PR team can fix this. But the third wave, the one that shook TPUSA to its core, came from inside the organization itself. Anonymous staffers began posting on private forums saying, we've heard the phrase Phase 3 before. It wasn't about Erika. It was about restructuring, aggressively. There were rumors of firings, forced resignations, and cutting off certain people. Some staff were told to prepare for a major shift. Then a chilling comment surfaced from someone using an anonymous account but clearly familiar with the inner workings. Phase 3 was described to us as the clean sweep. Anyone disloyal, uncertain, emotional, or inconvenient was going to be removed. Inconvenient. The same word Charlie used to describe Erika months ago. But the fourth reaction wave was the most dramatic. Donors started turning. Fast, publicly. One high-profile donor wrote, I did not give money to fund schemes, secret phases, or cover-ups. TPUSA owes us explanations. Another said, if this is true, We're freezing all financial support. A donor in Arizona posted, "I refuse to be associated with an organization that tries to silence a woman for asking questions." Then the biggest blow. A mega donor, someone who had been contributing to TPUSA for years, released a statement. "If Erika spoke to federal investigators and Charlie attempted to discredit her, we cannot continue supporting the leadership of this organization." This statement alone triggered chaos. Within 1 hour, 4 mid-tier donors paused contributions, 3 canceled future fundraising dinners, 1 board member privately reached out to journalists, and at least 6 staff members updated their resumes on LinkedIn. But the 5th reaction wave came from the public, especially women, who rallied behind Erika instantly. Hashtags trended. Stand with Erika. Let her speak. Expose. Phase 3. Protect Erika. TikTok creators dissected every leaked message, every journal entry, every audio clip. One creator posted, "You don't plan a divorce like a military operation unless you're hiding something big." Another said, "Erika wasn't a liability. She was a threat to people trying to cover their tracks." Even political rivals, people who ordinarily despise TPUSA, said, "This woman needs protection. There's something very wrong here." But the 6th wave came from someone nobody expected. Erika's college best friend, the one who visited her late in the year and said she looked fragile. She finally spoke publicly. She posted, "Erika told me months ago she felt watched, controlled, monitored. She wasn't imagining it." This went viral instantly. People responded, "Monitored? What were they watching for? What did they think she knew? Why was Phase 3 dependent on her silence?" But the reactions weren't just online. Inside TPUSA headquarters, tension reached a fever pitch. Employees stopped making eye contact. Celeste didn't show up for work. Dale shut off his phone. Victoria canceled every public appearance. Charlie locked himself inside his office, refusing to come out. One staffer wrote, "We've been told to avoid discussing the situation, but everyone is terrified of what Erika might reveal next." Even security staff were overheard saying, "This building feels like it's waiting for a bomb to drop." The 7th reaction wave came from the political opposition, who saw this as an opportunity to destroy Charlie in debates, speeches, and interviews. One senator said on live TV, "If Phase 3 involves intimidation or coordinated silencing, that is a federal crime." Another political figure added, "No organization is above the law, and no man should fear his wife speaking the truth." But the final 8th reaction wave, the one that truly set off alarms, came from the federal side. A leak from inside the investigation revealed. Erika corroborated details that matched financial irregularities from internal documents. And this investigation is no longer about a divorce. And Phase 3 is now a central point of inquiry. The internet collectively lost its mind. Everyone was terrified. Because if Phase 3 wasn't about Erika, what was it about? Who else was targeted? How big was this operation? What were they hiding? Who was involved beyond Charlie? And why did Charlie panic the second she spoke? But the very last reaction, the one that shocked everyone, came from Grayson herself. A reporter asked her outside a courthouse, "Is Erika Kirk in danger?" Grayson paused, looked directly into the cameras, and said, "No comment." Those 2 words ignited a firestorm, because no comment didn't mean no. It meant, we're investigating something far bigger. Everything was already spiraling out of control. Donors fleeing, staff resigning, media erupting, investigators circling. But nothing prepared the world for what came next. Because while everyone was arguing about Phase 3 like it was some mysterious policy restructuring or internal purge, Phase 3 was never about politics, never about messaging, never about donor relations, never about media control. Phase 3 was about removal. permanent removal. And the truth finally surfaced from the last person anyone expected. The same TPUSA employee who recorded Charlie's meltdown, the same anonymous insider who leaked the early snippets of the journal. She posted a long, cryptic message that began simply, "I wasn't going to share this, but now I have to." Then she dropped the bomb. Phase 3 was the plan to cut Erika completely out of the political ecosystem, legally, financially, professionally, socially, and physically. Physically. The word hit like a bullet. The post continued. Erika wasn't just being erased from the narrative. She was being erased from the organization, from the donor circuits, from the conference lists, from the financial records, from everything Charlie's world touched. And then, this wasn't a divorce plan. This was an extraction plan. The internet stopped. People screamed, "Extraction? What does that even mean? Was she in danger? What was Charlie planning?" But then came the real shock. The insider claimed that Phase 3 included revoking Erika's access to accounts, freezing her credit under fraud review, isolating her from TPUSA staff, blocking her from donor events, staging a mental health intervention, pushing her to take a sabbatical abroad, and convincing her to enter a faith-based wellness retreat. A retreat in another country. A retreat with no public contact. A retreat where she would be unreachable. A retreat where all communication went through Charlie's team. But the part that turned this from dark plan to horrifying conspiracy was the final detail. Phase 3 required getting Erika out of the country before the investigation started. People lost their minds. They wrote, "This is kidnapping energy. You don't send your wife away to silence her. This is beyond controlling. This is dangerous." What was Charlie really trying to hide? But then, all hell broke loose. Because the journalist who leaked the financial documents earlier posted something that detonated every timeline on social media. A single sentence. "There is a fourth person involved, and you won't believe who it is." The internet froze. Speculation ran wild. Was it a donor, a politician, a federal contact, a strategist, a family member? Everyone waited. Breath held, notifications on. Then the journalist posted the reveal. The fourth person is a pastor. The comments exploded. What? A pastor? How is a pastor involved in Phase 3? Who is it? Please say his name. But the journalist wasn't done. They revealed the pastor. A man very close to Charlie. A man who had counseled them both. A man who had hosted private marital meetings. A man who Charlie trusted more than anyone else. A man who preached about loyalty and submission. Pastor Roland Kincaid, the same pastor who advised Charlie to listen to his calling. The same pastor who told Erika to follow her husband's leadership. The same pastor who said obedience brings peace. And according to the leaked documents, Kincaid was the one who drafted the wellness retreat plan, the plan that would get Erika out of the country long enough for Phase 3 to roll out smoothly. But then, a second leak dropped. An audio recording. Very short, only 8 seconds. But it blew the entire scandal into a new dimension. Kincaid's voice, "If she refuses the retreat, then we escalate." Dale's voice, "We'll make her go." Kincaid, "Good. The fewer questions she asks, the faster Phase 3 begins." The world stopped breathing. People screamed online. They were going to force her? This sounds like coercion. This is a criminal conspiracy. A pastor helped plan this? What was Phase 3 really intended to do to her? Political commentators panicked. This is not a scandal. It's a coup inside a marriage. This is coordinated psychological control. This is potentially illegal manipulation bordering on trafficking. But the final twist, the one that left viewers shaking, came from the federal investigator herself. A journalist asked Grayson, Is Pastor Kincaid being investigated as well? Grayson paused, stone-faced, then said, "We are looking into all parties involved, and we have reasons to believe Phase 3 was still active as of last week." As of last week, meaning they hadn't abandoned the plan. They hadn't closed the operation. They hadn't stopped targeting Erika. Phase 3 was still in motion, which means Erika is still in danger. The cliffhanger landed with a final spine-chilling hit. Late that night, as cameras waited outside the federal building for Erika to exit, she never came out. Security said she left through a side door. Reporters said she didn't get into her car. Her phone went offline. Her lawyers refused to comment. Her close friend posted, "Has anyone heard from Erika? This isn't like her." And then, the final message. A voicemail leaked from an unknown number, a woman whispering, "He found me." The call ended abruptly. The world went silent. After everything you just heard, after the leaked journal, after the financial cover-ups, after the forged signatures, after the therapist's warning, after the strategist's involvement, after Dale and Victoria's secret meetings, after the federal interrogations, after Phase 3 was exposed as a coercive extraction plan, after Pastor Kincaid's voicemail saying, "We escalate," after Charlie panicked the second Erika spoke, after donors withdrew, after staff fled, after Phase 3 was confirmed active as of last week, we are left with the most terrifying question of all. Where is Erika? Because the cameras never saw her leave. Her phone went dark. Her friends can't reach her. Her lawyers won't speak. And someone left that voicemail whispering, "He found me." Who found her? Charlie, Dale. Someone else involved in Phase 3? Was she followed? Was she intercepted? Was she taken? Is she hiding? Is she safe? Is she speaking? Is she exposing everything? Or is she running for her life? You tell me. Drop your theories right now. Do you think Charlie sent someone after her? Do you think Pastor Kincaid is involved deeper than we know? Do you think Dale is executing Phase 3? Do you think Celeste turned on Erika? Do you think a donor is pulling strings? Do you think the IRS knows more than they're saying? Do you think Erika has evidence they're desperate to destroy? What do you think Phase 3 really was? And more importantly, do you think we're about to see Phase 4? Let me know everything. Your predictions, your conspiracies, your breakdowns, your anger, your support for Erika, your suspicion of Charlie's team, your theories on where she went. And do not forget, hit like, smash subscribe, turn on notifications, because when the next leak drops, when someone finally speaks, when the truth about Erika's disappearance comes out, you're going to want to be here the second it breaks. Part 2 is coming, and it will be even darker.